Bakovic coming in quick, makes the incredible diving catch. My goodness, Bakovic.
Germani trying to get there, goes back, and did he make another one? Holy guacamole, what a catch there.
Get to the basket, passes it to Cortez, Cortez up, and one. That is exactly what I'm talking about.
Hello, Roadrunners fans. You're just in time for another edition of the Roadrunner Review, the 30-minute magazine show that features MSU Denver sports and their highlights from the past month. I'm Tafoya, and joining me is Celeste, Zubia, Juan, Arellano.
Yep.
Guys, how's it going? How's your summer been?
My summer hasn't been too bad, just working, getting to sleep in, taking a break from school, and sitting by the pool, working on my tan, so I can't complain.
Yeah, my summer has been very good. I've just been working, hanging out with family, and playing some soccer and all that stuff. And I also know that you graduated this past spring, so congrats on that.
Yeah, big time grad.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Just trying to get my foot in the door, get that first job. Haven't spent as much time by the pool as I wanted to. Just trying to send out as much applications as humanly possible, but maybe we'll set aside some time for that.
Well, we wish you the best of luck.
Appreciate it. So, let's get to the show now. We're jamming the entire 2016-2017 Roadrunner sports season into one show as we bring you the best of the best from the past year. But before we get into all the highlights and fun storylines, we have to bring you up to date on some news. First, the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference announced its All Sports Cup standings, and MSU Denver finished 5th overall. For the 16th consecutive year, Roadrunners Athletics have finished near the top of the All RMAC Sports Cup. The standings are based on the accumulation of points throughout the year, which are then based on the institution's performance in RMAC's 4 core sports and 6 wildcard sports. And it seems like every offseason comes with a lot of changes for Roadrunners administration, and this year, no different. Women's golf coach Ben Porty has accepted the head coaching position at the University of Northern Colorado to coach their program at the Division I level. Porty actually came to downtown Denver from Greeley and created the Roadrunners women's golf program from scratch 4 years ago. His success came quickly, having won back-to-back RMAC championships. So a lot of changes going on, but our athletic director, Anthony Grant, will put the right people in the right places in the right sports to keep the success of MSU Denver going. So now let's recap this past year of 2016-2017. We'll start with the volleyball team, who put together one of the best seasons in program history. The 2016 volleyball season started with a change at the top where Jenny Glenn came in for her first season with the Red and Blue. Success came with the quickness as they proceeded to make history by going through the RMAC season undefeated at 18-0. They brought home the conference's regular season championship and battled all the way to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2009. The squad featured 2 All-Americans in Michaela Smith and Brandy Torr.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. Jenny Glenn did a great job coming from Greeley as an assistant coach and becoming the head coach here at MSU Denver. She took over 17-year coach Debbie Hendricks, and that's a hard task for any coach just coming in their first year. And something that they did that hasn't been done in school history was go undefeated in the regular season, which was something amazing. And then they had a great run in the RMAC tournament as well as in the NCAA tournament. A lot of the players that were veterans, there were 9 returners from last season. They did a great job coming together this season for a coach that was in her first year right there. And that was one of the reasons why she was the coach of the year in the RMAC, and she was also the coach of the year in the South Central region.
And they had a lot of centerpieces. A lot of returners. You mentioned it, the players, and one of those players, Brandy Torr, having an excellent season, Celeste.
No doubt about it. So, Brandy Torr just had a spectacular senior year. The 4-year setter finished second all-time with 4,000 assists, which, is huge for her being in that starting position all 4 years. And not only did she get RMAC Setter of the Year, but she also got Player of the Year and was 2016 All-Tournament. So just looking at those accomplishments is enough saying how much contribution she gave to the team, but that's not all, because she also got All-American. So what she was able to do for this program in these 4 years, getting all those recognitions, help them get that undefeated season and, make it to the RMAC championship. So there's no doubt in my mind that she goes down as one of the best in
And
MSU
not only
Denver.
that, she got the Colorado Sportswoman of the Year
Yeah,
award too.
exactly.
Yeah.
So we'll move on. We'll stick at the Auraria Event Center, talk about some men's basketball. The 2016-2017 season started with Derek Clark as the head coach, but would finish with Michael Ball leading the way. The team earned a spot in the RMAC tournament and pulled off an upset against Regis University on the road. in the first round. The season saw a lot of amazing performances, game-winning shots, and breakout athletes. Resiliency, always a term that we use in sports and really can be characterized by this MSU Denver squad. They went to Regis for an early season matchup against the Regis Rangers, crosstown rivalry, and it was the first of 3 matches the two teams would have. 3 matches that were absolutely incredible. Juan, why don't you talk about that first game over at the field house?
Yeah, that game was more than a doghouse. It was a battle between those crosstown foes, and it was just as spectacular, the ambient that was in that game. After we just tied the game 70-70 with 27 seconds on the clock, the Roadrunners called a timeout. Coming out of the timeout, Peter Mueller goes for a long jumper to win the game, but comes up short. But the senior, Andre Harris, is there to get the ball and slam it down for the win with a few seconds left on the clock. Victories always taste better when it's against one of your biggest rivals on their home court. And that moment is going to be remembered by Andre Harris and his teammates and by Roadrunners fans for years to come.
So let's talk about that stretch run. Let's talk about the playoffs. The Roadrunners going on the road. Not something that we're accustomed to seeing from this Roadrunner squad to go on the road for the first time in the playoffs. We're used to them hosting a lot of games, but they went to Regis to play the Rangers the 3rd time. The first 2 games ending in buzzer beaters. You mentioned the Harris one, but then Dexter Cienko came here and hit a buzzer-beating shot. So really, I didn't know what to expect. Really, the play of Brian Howard that really kept the team going, really kept the team afloat in that game, really, and they were able to come out with a win. So now it's time for a break here, but we're just getting started here on the Roadrunner Review. So glad you're back with us here on the Roadrunner Review. We are recapping the entire 2016-2017 MSU Denver sports season, and now we turn our attention to the women's basketball squad as they took a few steps up that ladder, reaching the next phases of their college careers. Head coach Chania Have returned 9 starters from the previous season and would ride a late season streak of 8 wins in 9 games to earn a playoff spot in the RMAC tournament for the first time in 3 years. The season featured top-notch performances, buzzer beaters, and a lot of memorable moments. You know, Celeste, I mentioned that this team got hot late in the season to grab that playoff bid. What was the difference that brought Coach Chania Have's squad to the next level to get back to the RMAC tournament?
Well, Sean, you know, you kind of mentioned it. They won 8 out of their last 9 games, and you know, and they were big games that they won. You know, Jalen Smith hit that game-winning shot to be UCCS at their place, which they hadn't done in like 5 years, 4 or 5 years. And then, you know, they have the game at home beating Regis, and you know, beating Regis at home is always big. And so I think just big games like those that like boosted up their confidence. And you know, the one loss they had was against Colorado School of Mines, which was in overtime. So you could tell these girls were battling. I remember every post-game interview, everyone was just saying like, we're coming together as a team, like we have all the confidence. So I think definitely winning those 8 out of 9, and then also just the confidence boost definitely helped them get that playoff bid.
Yeah, 8 out of the last 9. Lots of playoff atmosphere type games. One of those games, they traveled down to UCCS, played UCCS. You mentioned the buzzer beating shot from Jalen Smith.
Jay Wynn Smith.
One of the big games for me, because really leading up to the season, you didn't know what you were going to get from this MSU Denver squad. They were kind of up and down early on in the season. The last couple of years, they were right there for a playoff spot, just couldn't get over that hump. But it was this game, this win, where I pointed to it and I was like, that's it. This team is a playoff contender. They're going to be in that RMAC tournament. And sure enough, they were. Jalen Smith hits a buzzer beater shot to beat UCCS for the first time in quite a while. Yeah. But it was really the women who went down there, really needed a win. And Jalen Smith, the sophomore, really getting it done. You know, and this team still has another year together with Georgia Ordorf being in her senior year. So it's really going to be fun next year. But this team showed a lot of resiliency, and really the character of the team showed, I thought, in this win against UCCS.
Then speaking of Georgia Ordorf, she had a breakout game against Chadron State, and it was one of the best games that I've seen her play so far with the MSU Denver jersey on. I got to call that game, and just seeing how much push she had on the ball, on the rebounds, and just going for the bucket. It was just amazing to see Georgia Ordorf play her mind out in that game, and she had 27 points and 12 rebounds, and that really helped the team get into that momentum for the playoff.
Keep your eye out for this team. But now we move forward. We're going to reflect. We're going to head to the Diamond, the Regency Athletic Complex, to reflect on the baseball team and their thrilling 2017 season. This would be Coach Jared Otis's final season when his team went out on top. The squad sported 7 seniors and all played a huge role in earning a 3 seed in the RMAC tournament. The Roadrunners also got all conference seasons from Kale O'Donnell, Javi Vega, and Jake Thurston. Speaking of that senior talent, we mentioned Jake Thurston, but man, Jake freaking Thurston had a season to remember. Senior leader on this team, and you talk about a guy who was just like Roadrunner sports, Roadrunner student athlete, through and through, loves this program, loves this institution, was really candid about it the last time we talked about him, and really was a vital part in this Roadrunners team and their incredible season and their RMAC run as well. He finished the year with a .355 average, a .432 on-base percentage, and also slugged .530, totaling up 106 bases, not to mention one of the most fluid defenders and one of the best shortstops, if not the best, in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. So it's on to Grand Junction for the RMAC tournament. Roadrunners getting that bid again, the second time in 3 years. Not only did they just make it to the RMAC tournament, they made some noise as well, a couple of statement wins, and getting some great performances from some surprise players.
Yeah, they were the number 3 seed in the tournament, and they faced off against CSU Pueblo. That game was intense. It went on to 10 innings. In the first 9 innings, it was 11-11, and Jake Ekman, he had a grand slam in the 6th inning, I believe, and that was a big moment in the game, and they won 12-11, and then the next game, they kind of fell short against Colorado Mines, but then they bounced back against Regis, and Jake Ekman again with the game-winning home run. But the luck didn't last against Colorado Mines, and they were eliminated in that game. But they had a great run, great statement wins in that tournament.
We want to give a big shout out to Coach Jared Otis for his work over 6 seasons, making this team a contender. So we're coming right back with a couple of championship teams after the break. So stay tuned, you're not going to want to miss it.
Metropolitan State University of Denver nurtures student aspiration and empowers lifelong success through personal attention and professional experience in an inclusive environment. Located in the heart of downtown Denver, the university offers broad access to a transformative undergraduate and graduate education on Colorado's most diverse college campus. And as a gateway to opportunity, MSU Denver advances the intellectual, social, cultural, and economic well-being of Denver and beyond.
Welcome back as we continue our yearly recap of the Roadrunner review. So now we venture to the tennis courts, as both our men's and women's tennis teams had seasons to remember. Led by head coach Daniel Hanksteffer, both teams seemed to come together in the 2016-2017 season. The women's team, led by freshman of the year Tabitha Porter, won the RMAC's regular season championship, going undefeated at 6-0. The Roadrunners went on to win the RMAC tournament championship as well. Junior Josh Greats led the men to a tie of the regular season championship with Colorado Mesa's 5-1 record. Those two teams would meet up in the conference championship, and it would be the hometown Roadrunners that would take home the title. It was quite the season for Coach Hanksteffer, who's named Women's Head Coach of the Year for their perfect season. And Celeste just talked about the women's run in the RMAC tournament. They hosted the tournament at the Regency Athletic Complex.
Not only did they host it, but they won it. So the women's team won the RMAC championship, which was the first time they did that since 2004. And, they had a perfect season, went 6-0 in the RMAC, winning the regular season, and then going 11-5, in total. So definitely a good season for them. And they beat Colorado Mesa 5-3 to win that title. And interesting enough, they won the regular season and the RMAC tournament for the first time since 2004. So long time coming, but I was happy for them.
Yeah, absolutely. But not to be outdone, the men's team also had a great season. Juan, they brought home some hardware of their own.
Yeah, that's right, Sean. And again, they were battling it out against Colorado Mesa, and it was one of their biggest foes. And beating them on your home court is always something very special. And this team came together in the last game, in the last matches of the tournament to beat their foe and win the regular season as well as the tournament championship.
So from one spring sport to another, let's get into some softball. As we saw amazing comebacks, we saw records fall, and all those accomplishments still have us in awe. Head coach Annie Van Wetzinga led her amazing bunch to a quick 13-0 record in the RMAC and would eventually finish third. The team saw great seasons from Cassie Smith, who had a stellar year on the mound, Kalissa Bakovic, who took down a couple of records in her senior season, and we had a breakout season from Annika Anderson, who earned first team All-RMAC. They would go on and earn their 4th straight trip to the conference playoffs. Guys, one of the big reasons that they were able to punch that 4th straight trip to the conference tournament was the play of Cassie Smith, not only in the circle, but from the dish as well. She's a great hitter to go along with that arm that's just unhittable
And she
at
plays
times.
second.
And
And shortstop.
Yeah,
She plays everything.
Yeah.
she's your every player,
Yeah.
your utility player, and she had a great season in the circle, has been here for 4 years, and she finishes her MSU Denver career first in wins for any Metro player, and that is quite the accomplishment. But another record, another great senior was center fielder Kalissa Bakovic, who may be regarded as one of the best all-time players in MSU Denver history, and she broke a few records of her own, Celeste.
Yeah, Sean, so she holds the record for MSU Denver in stolen bases. She has 75 throughout her 4-year career. In 2016, she was second in the RMAC with 20 stolen bases just within that season. And not only that, she has started every game in her 4 years here at MSU Denver and holds the record for most games played, which is 219. So I think that just says a lot about her and how she plays, defensively, offensively. We noticed her at the beginning of the season in kind of a slump, but Coach Annie Van Wetzinga would not give up on her, and we eventually see that rise and her overcome that. So I think she was a huge part of this team, and the legacy her and Cassidy Smith leave their last 4 years is going to be huge on how Annie Van Wetzinga carries the team.
And we're still excited to see what 2018 brings, because this team still has a lot of talent on the roster.
In Van Wetzinga, we trust.
In Van Wetzinga, we trust. Anderson, Espinoza, Darby McGee looking to take a few steps forward in the circle. So, as we gear up all summer for next spring for the softball team, we're going to take a quick break. On the show, we'll be back with recaps from our men's and women's soccer team. You're watching the Roadrunner Review.
The Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference is committed to sportsmanship.
We take pride in the conduct of our student athletes and coaches.
And ask that everyone, coaches, athletes, and spectators, treat opponents and officials with respect.
We encourage you to cheer for your favorite team.
Unruly, threatening, or obscene behavior will not be condoned.
Thank you for your cooperation and support.
We're back here on the...
Oh, Sean, before you continue, I think we should just take a slight pause, because from everyone here at MSBN, we got you this little gift since you're graduating, aka leaving us forever, rude. But open it, let's see.
All right, let's see
what it is.
Let's see what this
Drum
what
roll,
this one holds.
please.
Feel like it's my birthday all over again.
Sorry, guys, I couldn't wait till the end of the show. I got too excited.
All right, got some pictures. Narps here. Julian
Best
Garcia,
episode ever.
Brandy Tor.
So for those of you who don't know, this is, an MSBN tradition. Whoever's leaving us or, graduating, we just give them this picture frame, picture of us athletes, people that sign, their best wishes to Sean. And I know you have taught me so much, and, I came here not knowing anything, and, you stepped up huge this year in terms of being a leader and kind of showing us the ropes.
Being
and,
our veteran.
Yeah,
our
basically.
Mentor,
And I know Eric appreciates it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know Juan does too. He better. Just kidding.
Yeah, and it was just great working with you this year. Not just working with you, but getting to know you as a person and outside of MSBN. And we're going to miss you here, but I know you're going to go on and do great things.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate that a lot. My time here has been absolutely amazing, and you guys have made it worthwhile working with you guys, being part of a team, being part of a friendship group here. And a big shout out to Eric Lansing for also mentoring me, and I'm gonna miss it here.
Yeah.
Miss being with you guys. So getting all emotional
The
here.
waterworks are coming in.
All right. So before we get into it, we had an emotional moment there. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Metro ST Sports. You can find news updates, the replays of all our TV shows, game highlights, interviews, upcoming schedules, and much more. So click that follow tab on @Metro ST Sports. We're looking back in time, Roadrunner Sports, the 2016-2017 season, and we hit rewind to fall season where our soccer teams enjoyed great campaigns. We'll start with the men as Jeremy Tittle began his first full season as head coach. The squad was led by senior Josh Belfridge, who led the team in goals, and with the help of 7 other seniors, the Roadrunners earned a spot in the RMAC tournament and pulled off the huge upset over Colorado Mines and Golden to advance to the RMAC tournament semifinals. So speaking of that RMAC tournament game, Celeste, it was the play of one of the seniors on the squad who seems to come up with clutch goals and clutch moments.
Yeah, and he did what any senior should, especially big time RMAC tournament. He stepped up. Not only did he score 2 goals, but he scored 2 goals in that game to advance. And, I remember the post-game interview, him talking about, in his time at Metro, they've never gone past the first round, so that was big for him, and big for him to be the reason that they did that. And, he was huge for MSU Denver senior year.
Yeah, very quality play from a senior, one of the captains on this team. Another senior captain, though, is Josh Belfridge, really a big integral part of this squad. Not only what he does in that striker forward position, but also the leadership that he brings on this team. And he's had quite a journey in his soccer career. Metro really gave him that second chance. He's a local kid, went to Mountain Vista High School. Then after high school, he went to go play Division I soccer at Marquette and Oregon State before getting his second shot in soccer. It's been noted. And, it's just one of the great stories and one of the reasons that you watch sports. Well, let's shift to the other side of Roadrunner soccer. That's the women's team. And it was the final go-around for head coach Adrian Peets and the women's soccer squad. The 2-time Division II champion spent 13 seasons in downtown Denver as a player, as an assistant coach, and as a head coach. Her final season was once again a winning one, and it featured yet another trip to the conference tournament and the great play of the sophomore Raina Banks and junior Elise Bernard led the team to a 6th place finish. And I mean, guys, what can you say about Adrian Peets that hasn't been said? She just embodies everything that you would expect Roadrunner soccer to be. 2-time national championship, has been in this program for so long. I know that her time at Metro has meant so much to her, and just all the ups and downs last season, going through a pregnancy, still out there coaching the team, really shows the dedication. So during a night game against UC Colorado Springs, we witnessed history in our women's soccer program. Juan, I'm not sure that there's a better start to a soccer match ever than what Elise Bernard did that night.
Yeah, it just took 10 seconds for the Roadrunners to get on the scoreboard. I remember Elise Bernard touching the ball forward to Griselda Gomez, because that's how you start a soccer game. And when that happens, Elise Bernard just sprints up, and Nana Gomez, she lifts up the ball into the 18, and the 2 defenders, they can't really clear the ball, and Elise Bernard is just right there. She takes a touch, she goes to her left, she takes a shot, and the goalkeeper tries to block that goal, but it was useless because Elise Bernard had just shot it, and it just took 10 seconds. It happened that quickly.
We're coming up on the Roadrunner review. Top plays coming up next.
I pledge.
I pledge.
I pledge.
To identify situations in which sexual assault may occur.
To recognize that non-consensual sex is sexual assault.
I pledge.
I pledge. To create an environment in which sexual assault is unacceptable and survivors are supported.
To intervene in situations where consent has not or cannot be given.
Rounding third base here on the Roadrunner review. Before we get into our top plays from the entire year, let's quickly recap a few more sports that we might have missed from the past season. Jennifer Hankins was a key cog to the golf team's success as the true freshman broke an RMAC record for lowest round, hitting a 66 on day 2 of the Regis Invitational. That fantastic score gave her the first place finish, winning the individual title and leading her squad to the second place overall finish. In cross country, both the men's and women's teams had great finishes at their home meet in Washington Park. The men would win the event on the shoulders of senior Brandon Krogge. The women finished 3rd overall and got great finishes from Erica Ruiz and Sabrina Rauter. Sarah Hughes had another sensational season for both the indoor and outdoor track and field seasons. The senior earned her second All-RMAC honors in indoor after finishing 3rd in the triple jump event at the RMAC Championships. The men were led by sophomore Julian Delaney, who was named to the first team, taking second place in the 200-meter dash at the RMAC Championships. In the outdoor season, Delaney Hughes, Robert Carlson, and Bree Wellington earned all RMAC honors. All right, it's time for the top plays from the entire 2016-2017 season, and we'll start on the diamond as a wacky play turned into a stellar one.
So pop up there, and it will be caught by Cassidy Smith.
Oh my,
no, that was Smith.
Whoa.
I thought that was Lobos too.
That was Lobos, the way she dove and it disappeared into her glove. Mind blown.
My mind is still blown away after that play, Sean. And now for men's basketball. In play number 4, Westminster came to the Auraria Event Center, and Andre Harris reminds everyone whose house this belongs to. Dayon Goodman thought he would get 2 easy points in the paint, but the senior forward from Illinois tells him that you better not bring that soft serve into the building.
How about a little glove work in our play number 3?
Over the on deck circle currently. This one shot through the middle. Tully across his body makes the play. Wow, the Derek Jeter-ish type of throw going across his body.
It was playoff time for our volleyball squad, and they took on Tarleton State with a chance to reach the Sweet 16. The Texans featured plenty of great hitters, but junior libero Jackie Lopez thwarted the offense at every turn, recording a career-high 30 digs to lead her squad to the 3-1 win.
And the top play from this past MSU Denver season is actually a bunch of plays, as Brandy Torres' defense carried her team to an 18-0 RMAC season and giving her the Player of the Year award in the conference. Torres' natural instincts and relentless will allowed her to get to balls that no other player could even imagine possible. And those were the top plays from the past year, and as always, they are brought to you by the Regency.
That is going to do it for the 2016-2017 season. Remember to keep up with MSU Denver sports at roadrunnersathletics.com.
For Celeste, Zubia, Juan, Arellano, and signing off for the last time on the Roadrunner Review, I'm Tafoya, and we'll see you next time for more high-flying Roadrunner action.